Hi everyone, Armored Pants here, and I have a video for you on burning games. All you need to know about burning games, how to play in one simple video. Before that, a simple reminder again that we have recently just started a Discord channel for this YouTube channel. I'm on there almost every day, so you can chat to me there, plus chat to other gamers, other YouTubers. Great place to have conversations about the game and life in general. So come join us there, you're very, very welcome. Now, first things first. How do you actually play burning games? So it's very simple. You go into select battle mode, select burning games, switch it on, go back into your home screen and just hit battle and off you go. And you jump straight into a game like this. Now you can see here what I'm doing is I'm telling my allies I'm going to A, and I'm also asking them to please stay together and to shoot each other. Why is that? Well, burning games has something unique about it. First thing is you die slowly in this game regardless of whether you're hit or not. So you lose hit points, right? You can see here after 20 seconds, bam, you start losing hit points. The only way to restore them is through positive actions. So 1 is to be shot by your allies. 2 is to hit and penetrate the enemy. 3 is to capture a base. 4 is that you can ram your allies as well, and that also gives you back hit points, right? So what does this tell us? Well, this tells us a couple of things. Firstly, in terms of team play, this is by far more a team version of Blitz than normal, because you can't survive on your own. If you separate from your team, if you move off, you've no way of being healed by your team, and therefore you will slowly die. Now you can't die completely, right? So you will go down to 1 hit point, as the Leo is here, right? So he's down to 1 hit point. So you can't die completely, you just go down to 1 hit point. But of course that means that you will be dead as soon as you encounter the enemy, because all they have to do is touch off you or fire any sort of round at you, HE, anything, you're going to die, right? Now, you can see what I'm doing here. Now I have just improved the health of my Leo, right? So I'm keeping him in the game. So this is by far and away a more team-based experience and gameplay than you have in normal Blitz, right? So that's the first thing. There is no point in separating, right? So tactics are completely different. There's no point half the team going down one channel and the other half going down another channel as you would normally do. For example, so meds and lights can flank, right? The best thing to do is to stay together. So the whole team goes down one flank, or goes down the middle, or whatever, but just stay together, right? Because then you can heal each other. And if you're hitting the enemy and your team are healing you, you're very, very difficult to kill, right? So for example, things you can do in this game that you can't normally do. Let's say you're in a light, fast moving, but rapid firing tank. You don't actually have to engage the enemy at all. You can sit behind your heavies and just shoot into the back of them, keep them at full hit points while they engage the enemy. So there are tactics here that are not open in normal Blitz. What has also become apparent from me playing this game, this mode, is that most players, and I would say 90%, don't understand the concept of this game. Basically what they're trying to do is play as they normally play, adopt the tactics that they normally adopt, and that just simply doesn't work. So stay together, use your rounds every time they are loaded, use them. Either fire at an enemy target or fire at your allies. That's something you can't do all the time in normal Blitz, right? There's no point firing at your allies, right? But here, every time you reload, you should be utilizing those rounds and firing either at into the reds or into the greens. Oh, by the way, I can make a complete balls out of that shot on the Leo. I don't know what I was thinking. Redeem myself a little bit by angling up and getting the bounce. You can see here what I talk about with the ram. Leo rams me, we both get hit points back. One other thing to note, guys, is, right, and a lot of players I also have noticed don't get this. Auto aim doesn't work when you're firing at your allies, right? So be very careful when you're trying to hit your allies. You can waste a lot of rounds firing into them by missing them, because auto aim doesn't work when you're firing at allies, right? Auto aim only works when you're firing at the reds. I'm going to die here, but I'm kind of in a rough spot here because that smasher is kind of on my flank, so I just decided I'm going to go onto the meds. I'm going to die. But dying, by the way, in this is actually not a bad thing, and I'm going to explain why. First, you've got 2 lives, right? So your lives are represented by the hearts that you see here on the left-hand side of the screen, right in the middle. So they represent your lives. You've got 2 lives, right? So basically you die, as I died here, you respawn. And here's the kicker. When you respawn like as some sort of fucking Superman, because you have plus 30% to all of your key variables. So plus 30% to your speed, plus 30% to your reload, plus 30% to the alpha damage that you deal. Now this Tog here is a great player, because if you saw earlier what he was doing was, he was sitting in base A and he was using his rapid fire to just heal me and heal the Leo. He was healing his allies, right? You can see here he's healing me all the time. So he's got a fast firing gun, and he knows he's slow moving, but he's basically healing me. What I'm also doing is I'm giving him a chance to heal me, so I'm not just going off on my own tearing away. I'm sitting within range so that he can actually heal me, right? So again, it's been a bit more clever and a bit more emphasis on team play, real team play, than is normally the case in Blitz, where you can actually win games on your own. If you go off on your own in this game, you will end up on 1 hit point at some point, because there's nobody to heal you, right? Whereas that's not the case in normal Blitz. If you're a very good player, you can keep your hit points. You can't in this game. They're going to go regardless of what you do. Unless you're capturing base, or unless your allies are healing you, you're going to die. Or not die, but go down to 1 hit point. So therefore you need to stay with your allies, stay together. So as I said, what I would do is stick together, go down 1 channel together, all 7 tanks together, concentrate your fire on enemy to remove them, and concentrate fire on your allies, particularly those who are weak. Be observant of your allies. When they reach lower hit points, fire at them and heal them, right? Because it's a team game, and of course then, if you heal them, it's quid pro quo, Clarice. They can heal you, right? If they're dead, they can't. So basically this is like, in many ways, double Blitz, because you've got 14 lives rather than 7, right? On each team. When you come back, you are almost, you already have your super abilities, so therefore it's even better than before. So dying isn't necessarily a bad thing, as long as you only die once, right? So, you know, so bear those things in mind. Another thing to bear in mind is, guys, when you're selecting the tanks to play in this mode, be careful of the size of the ammo rack, the magazine in the tank. You don't want to choose tanks with a very, very small ammo rack, because you're going to fire far more often in this, if you're playing it properly, than you do in a normal game of Blitz, because you're firing at your allies as well as the enemy. So for example, I chose an RU-251, which is a tank I particularly love, and I was playing a game in it, and on my second life I ran out of shells. Ran out of shells, and there was still 2 minutes left because I was healing my allies. Because the RU-251 has a small ammo rack, so be careful of that too. So be aware of that too, right? Pick something that has a big ammo rack and allows you to fire not just at the reds, but also at the greens as well. Now let's have a look at some more gameplay, right? Here you're going to see a very good example of team gameplay, particularly here when we go up onto A, you're going to see all of us healing each other, and that's basically the cornerstone of playing this game well, right? So we're going to come up here and we see you have a Strav here. He's almost dead. He's down to the 1 point, and all of us start healing him, and he ends up, you know, with loads more hit points. And in the end, you'll see in a few minutes, he actually takes out the tiger. But we spoke about positive actions in this game that give you back hit points, right? Capturing bases, etc., right? But the base that you really want to capture, the ultimate base capture in this, is what we're going to do here now as a team. And I'm really surprised that other teams haven't done this, and nobody else as I've seen has done this in all the games I've played since it started, right? All the games I've played making this video. And that is the base you want to capture. It's not A, B, C or D, it's the red spawn. If you capture that, it's game over. You're going to win. Why? Because when they die, they respawn there. They're respawning and they're already surrounded. It's game over. And you can see here, we've moved in, we're capturing the red spawn. You can see the Store Emil has respawned, he's almost dead. The KV2 just respawned, he's almost dead. They're all going to be taken out, they're permanently dead now. And this is, in vampiric terms, stake to the heart. You can see here the P43 is just respawned and he's like, what the fuck, dude? He's already surrounded. Poor guy hasn't got a chance. He's just getting pummeled, right? And he just gets cleared off. We played really, really well as a team in this game until actually this point here where they stopped, where I got abandoned. I don't know where my team is because we have these guys well surrounded. But I'm getting hit on both sides. I actually die, but I respawn and we win the game. But by the time I respawn, the game is almost over anyway. But this is really how to win in this game, guys. It is capturing the red spawn. If you do that, it's game over. You're going to win every game. So just go as a team, push on, punch through the reds, capture their spawn, and as they regenerate and respawn, you have them surrounded and it's boom, boom, boom. This is a tactic which is played in a lot of other video games, right? It doesn't really normally apply to Blitz because you only have one life. But here when you've got 2 lives, when you're respawning, this is a tactic that you should be adapting. And you can see there in this game, we won by 4 tanks, all the bases captured, plus we captured red spawn, game over. Okay, so let's have a recap of the key points about this interesting game mode, burning game mode. So, completely different strategy and tactics than you normally play in Blitz. The strategy and tactics that you adopt normally in Blitz don't work here. You need to play differently, you need to think as a team. It is a team game essentially in its purest form, right? Far more than it is normally in Blitz, which is a team game anyway. But and in actuality, you can get punished for being on your own here, right? So it really is in its essence a team game. So therefore, stay together, shoot your allies, be cognitive, be aware of your allies, where they are and their hit points. Also be careful with the size of the ammo rack in the tank you select. You can easily run out of ammo, as I did in the RU-251, you know, because you're going to fire more. If you're playing it well, you should be firing more. You should be firing at the reds and the greens. You get 2 lives, and the second one is better. You get your 30% buff to your hit points, to your speed, and to your reload, right? So, to the damage points you do. So therefore, you know, really utilize that. Don't be afraid of dying because you come back as a Superman, right? And the ultimate base capture is the red spawn. Just think about that. If you can get your team to push on, punch through the reds, capture their spawn, it's game over. You're going to win every time. It's difficult, of course, because not everybody is going to listen to you and not everybody really understands this mode. But I hope this has helped you. I hope this explains it a bit more. Cheers, Mush. Thanks for watching. I hope you found it useful. I hope you found it enjoyable. And I guess all that remains for me now to say is, pants off.